Nursing job abroad. How to protect yourself from scam, how to trust a recruiting agency and/or migration agency. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the downfall and scams in the international recruiting and global nurses market. I know that many nurses are interested in working abroad. After all, it's a great way to experience a new culture, improve your skill, and earn a high salary. However, it is important to be aware of the risk involved in international recruiting. Hey everyone, welcome to Nurses Move, the channel dedicated to all nurses who want to move abroad. My name is Dina and I am an expat nurse working and living in UK. One of the biggest risks involved in international recruiting is that you could be scammed. There are so many unscrupulous recruiters out there who will promise you the world but then they don't deliver it. They may charge you exorbitant fees or they may simply disappear with your money. Another risk is that you could end up in a job that is not what you expected. Many nurses have been placed in jobs that are understaffed, underpaid, or in a poor working condition. This is one very common thing actually. And it doesn't matter where you come from. This happens also to nurses. They come from rich countries and they want to move abroad for improving their lifestyle or to experience new cultures. In fact, those are the nurses that pay the highest fees. And visa, for example, that could be paid by the sponsor and that can be scammed on the process of moving abroad as a nurse. If you're thinking about working abroad, it is important to educate yourself about the global nurses market and to be prepared. As I'm an international career coach for nurses, I have helped hundreds of nurses to move abroad safely and strategically since 2015. So this is why I'm here, to give you useful information, a few tips that will help you to avoid scam. The global nurses market is a large and growing market. According to the World Health Organization, there are currently 27.9 million nurses in the world, and this number is expected to grow to 31.1 million in 2030. The growth of the global nurses market is being driven by a number of factors, including aging population, increase in chronic disease, and a growing demand for healthcare service in developing countries. The global nurses market is a high competitive market. Nurses are in high demand, and some strategic employers are competing for the best talent. This competition is driving up salary and benefits for nurses. In addition, employers offering a variety of perks and benefits to attract and retain nurses, such as tuition reimbursement, sign-on bonuses, and flexible work arrangement. However, this is not always the case. The majority of the time, employers hire nurses based on number of nurses needed to provide safe health care. Rather than talent or high standard of care, they just want to be safe with a minimal ratio of nurses to patient. And this means working always understaffing because a minimum number of employees does not mean necessarily a minimum number of staff per shift. Because sick leave, annual leave, some problem. So even though if the employer reached on the paper a certain number of employees to be safe with patient-nurse ratio, in the reality, the staff always work understaffing. So the global nurses market is a dynamic, ever-changing market. The factors that are driving the growth of the market are also changing. And employers need to be aware of this changing in order to stay ahead of the competition. This means that there will be a greater need for nurses to provide care to this growing population. And then nurses are needed to provide care to patients with this chronic disease, and they are also needed to educate patients about how to manage their condition. Also, we have the growing demand for healthcare service in developing countries. This is due to a number of factors, including economic growth, urbanization, and an increase in awareness of healthcare system. As demand for healthcare service grows, so does the need for nurses. And this is one of the reasons why we are now having red list country, because of course this country where nurses tend to come from, they also need nurses. So impoverishing country from their nursing can have very serious consequences, and that can lead even to death. So government must act quickly to resolve the issue of nursing crisis. But because of the global nurses crisis, of course there's an increasing in nurses demand, and of course there is an increasing in global nurses market with so much money running around. So you understand that if you not get prepared to move abroad and face this big global nurses market, you get lost very soon, but also you can get scammed very quickly. The global nurses market is a large and growing market, but it is also a market that is ripe for scam. There are a number of unscrupulous recruiters who prey on nurses who are looking for work abroad. These recruiters may promise nurses high salary, great benefits, but they may not deliver on their promises. In some cases, nurses have been scammed out of their life saving by these recruiters. And the richest are the nurses, the bigger is the scammer. So I'm talking especially with nursing from developed country. They think they're safe, they're most exposed. So I would say that, and this is not discrimination, this is what I'm seeing since 2015 that I have helped nurses who moved abroad. What I saw until now is that nurses that come from rich country tend to pay a lot, like migration fees, agency fees, and everything related to the moving process in another country. On the other side, we see that nurses from poor countries that cannot pay upfront, so that the agency pay everything for them upfront, they are trapped in a cage because they sign a contract they cannot escape from. So if one side we have a lot of money be spent for the moving process, from the other side we have exploitation and promises that are not met. So there is a number of things that nurses can do to protect themselves from scam when they are looking for work abroad. First, they should do the research on their recruiter. They should check the recruiter's credential and make sure that they are reputable. They should also ask the recruiter for references from previous nurses who have worked from them. Second, nurses should be wary of any recruiter who asks for money upfront. Legitimate recruiters will not ask for money upfront. They will only ask for money after the nurse has been hired and has started working. But they ask money to the hospital and the organization, not to the nurses. Third, nurses should be suspicious of any recruiting or offer a job they seem too good to be true. If a recruit is offering a nurse high salary and great benefit, but there is no job description, or the recruiter cannot provide any detail about the job, then the nurse should be suspicious. The downfall of the nurse international recruiting and the global nurses market is a serious issue. It is important for nurses to be aware of the scams that are out there and to take steps to protect themselves. By doing their research and be careful, nurses can avoid being scammed and can find a legitimate job that will provide them with a good living. But now, before I go ahead, please, we have a deal. You give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you think that the information that I share in this channel is useful for you, please subscribe, because a lot of videos are coming about nursing abroad and international nursing in general. Also, let me know in the comment below where you want to move and why you want to move abroad, and if you have any career dream abroad as a nurse. I'll do my best to help you overcome your fear by giving you all the best information available and that you need. So as I said, if you think about moving abroad and working abroad, it's important that you do your research. And here are a few tips that I share with you. Do your research. Before you sign any contract, make sure you research the company and the job. Read the reviews and talk to other nurses who are working for that company. Get everything in writing. Make sure you get everything in writing, including the job description, the salary, and the benefits. Make sure you understand the term of your contract and ask a lawyer to help you if you don't really understand them or you're not pretty sure. Be wary of upfront fees. Many recruiters will charge you upfront fees, and this sometimes is just for a language course. Stay suspicious. Be wary of any recruiting who asks for money upfront. Be wary for recruiting who ask you to lie on your visa application. A trustful and valuable hospital organization will help with your visa process. So you actually don't need even to pay for a visa, or just need to pay just a little bit once you are already there, because they need nurses and they have a specific office in a HR that help with the visa, and this happens very often. If they don't have an HR dedicated for visa process, they always have an agency that they lead to them. So if a recruiting agency asks you money upfront for a visa, be suspicious, because when an hospital or organization employ people from abroad, always take in consideration the cost of the visa. So they always pay the visa for you. And another things, don't go directly to a migration agency and start the visa process, because you have a lot of things to do before you even start the visa processing. And again, you have the registration, you have other things to do to start the process of moving abroad, to work as a nurse abroad. And migration is the last things. And always, again, it's the organization that pay the visa for you, so you actually don't need migration agent. And when you go to a migration agent and ask for a visa, the immigration agency always provide you with a visa, even though you are a nurse and you could potentially have your visa paid for you. So be careful, because these are scam that could be identified not as a scam, as of course the immigration agency does its work. You ask for a visa, the immigration agency provides for a visa, but you don't actually need at the moment, because the visa will be given to you from the hospital organization. And second, because before doing your visa application, you still have to do so many things. The registration, the thing that you need to do for your moving. So you don't actually need to go to a migration agency, ask for a visa before do the other thing. It's put the cart in front of the horse. You spend money and then you lose your money because you cannot work as a nurse. I guarantee you that you find a good sponsor, this sponsor will pay for you the visa. On the worst of the case, you have to pay just a part of the fees of the visa. Okay, because this is the process. So don't trust all the people that say that you have to pay money up front for the visa, because that is not true. This is a scam. 95% of the case, this is a scam. Trust your gut. Of course, if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. If you have any doubt about a company or a job, don't be afraid to walk away. Get help from a trusted international coach who can help you navigate the process. Work abroad can be a great experience, but it's important to be aware of the risks. By doing your research and be prepared, you can help to ensure that your experience is a positive one. Because I guarantee you that you start with the wrong step, you'll end up in a migration failure. And you don't want a migration failure, isn't it? You want to be happy. All of us want to be happy abroad, but you have to do all the steps properly. In addition to the risk mentioned above, there are a few other things to keep in mind if you're considering working abroad as a nurse. The language barriers. If you're not fluent in the language of the other country you're planning to work in, you may have difficulty communicating with patients, colleagues, and other healthcare professionals, and you easily lose your confidence, like as a person, just for that. I know that you have to pass a certain language test to be able to be licensed, but sometimes it's not just that. Because sometimes people speak in dialect or they speak in a slang that is difficult to understand. So make sure that you're able to learn also those slangs and those dialects. Cultural differences. Every country has its own unique culture. It is important to be respectful of the custom and tradition of the country you are planning to work in. I made a specific video about these challenges that you can find when you're moving abroad. So check it out and subscribe because this video will be released soon. Another problem is accommodation, for example. If you're not sure where you're going to live, you may have difficulty finding affordable and safe housing. Job itself could be challenging because maybe you find recruiting agency that help you to move abroad, but at the end they put you in a place that you're not really like, or they ask you to do some job that are not really fit for your career development. So I suggest you in this case to find an international career coach for nurses that will help you to find a job even without the recruiting agency. I am an international career coach. In my program Successful Expat Nurse Accelerator, I help nurses to find a job. They help with the sponsor and with everything, but without using a recruiting agency. Or find a job that is what you want, that give you the career that you want and deserve, but that can give you also a recruiting agency because that specific hospital organization has its own recruiting agency. So I help nurses to find their job of their dream abroad in so many different ways and always tailor it for personal circumstance. But again, if you want a specific career, find an international career coach, find somebody who is expert in this field that can help you not just relocating, but also that they can help you in your career development abroad, because it's completely different country by country. So what you habit in your country probably is not the same in the country that you want to work in. If you're still interested in working abroad after considering the risk and challenges, there are a few things that you can do to increase your chance of success. Get certified. Many countries require nurses to be certified in order to work there. Check with the country you're planning to work and see what certification is required. This is mean maybe you come from a country where there are different role of nurses and so there are different qualification certification to become a nurse. But you want to move abroad in a country where there is only one role of nurse and so there are only one qualification, and if you don't meet the qualification you need to be certified, so you need to meet the standard requirement. Be prepared to adapt to the new situation and be flexible with your schedule. If you already started your process to move abroad as a nurse and you think you have been scammed by an international recruiter, you should report to the appropriate authorities. You can also contact the International Nurses Association of your country to help. Networking is so important. I've done a video interview with Sister Rosalind Magbo. It's so important to expand your network because the network is help you in achieve your goals. So talk to other nurses who have worked abroad and get their advices. They can give you valuable insight on the challenges and reward of working abroad. Every experience is different from the others and people have different needs. So avoid mistakes and allow me to help. With over 20 years of international experience in emergency critical care management, as an expat nurse myself, I have successfully helped other nurses move abroad, avoid common mistakes and achieve their career goal in a short time. I know that the thought of moving to the foreign country and navigating unfamiliar process can intimidate. That's why I'm here, to provide practical solutions to overcome the most common difficulties, such as find the right job opportunity to you, be able to apply to the nursing board regulator in a proper way so you're not losing time for your registration, and I provide transformational coaching through my Successful Expat Nurse Accelerator program to help you select the right location and job opportunity for your specific life and career goals abroad and settle quickly and effectively. So if you are a passionate and ambitious nurse looking to pursue a rewarding career abroad and make a significant impact, book a free consultation with me to find out if you're fit and eligible for my program, as we have to be a good match for each other. Please fill out the form and answer some questions. You'll be redirected to the appropriate booking page. But if you want to know more about all the challenges that you can encounter on your journey of moving abroad, you can go ahead and watch the other video where I explain all those challenges so you can get more prepared. And I'll see you there. Take care of yourself. Bye.